Hi, everyone. It's a ticket to Christ. Thank you for tuning back in. We are talking about governing your emotions, and this is so important and critical in the Christian walk because a lot of times that's where people stumble. So we're in First Peter chapter 5. We're looking from verses 5 through I guess 7, because there is a sin underlying emotions, negative emotions, the emotions that hinder us. A lot of times it's stemming from something. There's a root to it. So if we look at the root, we'll be able to overcome that way. It says, likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For God resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. Okay, so let's just pause right there. What is jumping out at you? For me, what I'm seeing is that there is no grace for pride, right? We're saved by grace, but there's no grace for pride. The grace of God is for the humble, right? So if you're walking and responding from a position of pride, there is no grace for that, right? You're just a prey for the roaring lion that's walking about seeking whom he might devour. Pride, how do you know you're walking in pride? When you're walking in pride, it's when you're elevating yourself above the word of God. You're not coming in agreement with it, or you're pulling yourself below the word of God. So it's to exalt yourself or to demean yourself. So you're not in unity with the word of God. From positions of pride is positions of self-advancement. How do you know what causes your anger? Look at the root. Okay, why am I angry? This person did this to me. This is how it made me feel. It's an exaltation of self. It's when you're the focus of the harm, the hurt. When we have a righteous anger, it's an anger on behalf of God, on behalf of righteousness. So that's very different. It's not about you, right? But when we have an anger that's coming for ourselves, usually it's coming from a vanity, conceit, vain imagination. Someone, oh, how dare you say this to me? You disrespected me. I feel disrespected. You, offended me because how dare you speak against who I think I am, the exalted position I have of myself in my own mind's eye, that type of thing, right? And so those are the emotions that can rise up that are, coming from a sinful place. So if your emotions are coming from a sinful place, it's from a fruitless place, and it's from a place that there is no grace for that. So also full of anxiety, verse 7, it says, cast all your care upon him, for he careth for you. That also jumps out. So when you're full of anxiety, that is a place also that there's no grace for that, because then there is no trusting in God there. You are not surrendered and submitted to God. So you have, you're in turbulent waters. You're in messy, choppy waters that the enemy thrives in, the chaos. And so you have verse 8 happening, the roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. And so that's why when you're in those turbulent emotions of anxiety and worry and stress, that's a place where you're not able to be clear-minded and alert and to pray effectively, right? Because the emotions have grabbed a hold of you. And so you're not coming from a place where you can hear the Spirit. You're coming from a place of a drowning man. You know, they always say when somebody's drowning, they're going to grab on to anything and, you know, pull even the helper under, right? So it's that position. And so to overcome, to govern this type of emotion, first, I think, identify the root. Like, why am I feeling that way? Ask yourself, why am I feeling that way? Why am I angry? Why am I offended? And look at it and take responsibility and ownership for yourself. You know, and it's sometimes for some people, they're so damaged, it's very hard for them to take the blame. It's very hard for them to say, I am wrong, that it's me, that it's, this is hard for me, this is a hard place for me. This, by taking the blame, it comes with me consequences of what I believe about when someone is wrong. Right? It comes responsibility and ownership. And for some people, they don't want to do that for whatever the reason is. So you got to talk through it and bring it before the Lord, and be ready to be honest. Because even if you're not admitting it, the truth is going to be the truth. Whether you believe it to be the truth or not, it's still going to be the truth. And the truth is the only thing that can set you free. So unless you're willing to come into truth, to come into light, to take ownership, you're going to be bound by these emotions and won't find the freedom of them. And for some people, they don't care. But if you're a child of God and you love God and you want to be a part of his family and, you know, his eternity, and to walk out your walk with the best intention God has for you, then you've got to deal with these hard areas of your character, of your spirit, of your, you know, of your soul, of how you think, of how you process life, so that you can find the deliverance and the freedom that you need, right? There is no magic cure. It's about coming into the light, coming into the truth, and be set free because you're admitting it. And bring it to God. You will find freedom. And you will find grace in the humility of bringing it to God and confessing it to others, and even going back and taking responsibility, apologizing if you blew up at someone or your anger got a hold of you, coming back to them in humility and apologizing and repenting. So it's not enough to just, in my opinion, this is what I think, to just change your actions. I think you also have to speak and say sorry, apologize. You know, a lot of people, they don't want to apologize. They just want to change their actions because it takes a lot more humility to apologize, right? Because you have to go back to that person and say, I was wrong, I'm sorry. And you don't know how they're going to respond or how they're going to take it. Some people, they might not forgive you. They might not accept the apology, but for others, they accept it, you know. So, but in either way, as far as it depends on you, making proper restitution is important. It's an important step in humility. Same thing with anxiety and worry. You know, if you're finding yourself just causing chaos because you're in chaos, taking ownership and repenting, but also apologizing where apologies are due. So, beloved, that is it from me today. We'll pick it up again tomorrow. Have a great day.